As part of the present administration's efforts to curtail the spread of coronavirus COVID-19 ravaging the country and the world at large, Edo State Ministry of Education, in collaboration with Edo Broadcasting Service (EBS) and Academic Staff Union of Secondary Schools (ASUSS, is organizing a television program for students in senior secondary schools, particularly those writing the West African Senior School Certificate Examination (WASE), the National Examination Council (NECO), and National Business and Technical Examination Board (NAPTEB) for the year 2020 in the months of May, June, and July. The program will be held on EBS television channel every day from 12 noon to 1 p.m. beginning from Monday, April 6, 2020. The subjects selected for these programs are Mondays Mathematics, Tuesdays English Language, Wednesdays Physics, Thursdays Biology, Fridays Geography, Saturdays Civic Education and Economics, and Sunday Chemistry. Parents and guardians are therefore advised to draw the attention of their children or wards to this opportunity during the stay-at-home period.
Ufoma, and I'll be here to teach you on the subject economics. Our topic for today is economics, basic concepts and tools for analysis. We start with the definition of economics. Economics has been defined by so many people. Some look at it as the study of human beings and the way they behave. But we go ahead to take a look at definitions gotten from experts on the subject. We start by giving us a definition by Alfred Marshall. Alfred Marshall defined economics as a study of mankind in his ordinary business of life. In other words, what does it mean? He says that economics studies human beings and their everyday economic activities, such as buying and selling, such as marketing, such as production, and so on and so forth. We'll go ahead to take a look at the second definition by the second expert, Adam Smith. Adam Smith, by the way, is regarded as the father of economics. And he defined economics as the study into the inquiry of the nature and causes of wealth. To him, economics was all about generating wealth. What is wealth? Wealth can be defined as a possession of valuable things or money. To him, as I said, economics was all about the possession of wealth. But we'll go ahead to look at the generally acceptable definition given by Professor Lord Lionel Robinson. Lord Robinson defined economics as a science which studies human behavior as a relationship between ends and scarce means which have alternative uses. His definition is all encompassing because it contains some key or basic economic concepts. We're going to write his definition on the board right now. There's some highlights on the board. We'll take them one at a time. When we talk about ends, what do we mean by ends? End simply means our wants and our desire, which by the way are numerous. As an individual, we want to own what? Houses, cars, television, and so on and so forth. All these wants or ends are numerous and insatiable. We go ahead to look at the second highlighted point here. scarce means. When we talk about scarce means, we're talking about our resources are limited. Our resources are limited. What does this mean? Our resources could be our money. Our resources are limited and will not be able to cater for all our needs. And so therefore, all we need to do is to what? Try and make a choice between our conflicting and numerous what? Wants. The third highlighted point there is alternative uses. What it simply means that our wants can be put to different purposes. And therefore, since our wants are what? Numerous, we have to what? Make a choice among our conflicting what? Wants by highlighting our wants in a scale of preference. In summary, we told you that economics could be defined as what? A science which studies human behavior as a relationship between ends and scarce means. And we said this definition was what? The most acceptable because it comprised of what? Some key definition which we can use and it's very important in what? Economics. We'll move further to look at the nature and scope of economics classified under some group of subjects known as social sciences. We have numerous social sciences subjects, which are geography, political science, government, sociology, anthropology, and so on and so forth. So why is economics a social science? Economics is social science because it studies human behavior. I'll give you an instance of how human beings react to changes in price of a particular commodity. For example, let's take rice. When the price of rice increases, how will humans react? They react by what? Reducing the quantity of rice they buy from the market. And when the price of rice reduces in the market, how do consumers react? They react by what? Increasing the quantity of rice they buy in the market. So therefore, we say economics is social science because it studies human behavior. It's also a social science because it studies how man interacts in the process of buying and what? Selling. Of course, economics does not only concern individuals and consumers, it also involves the firms or companies and also the government and the provision of goods and services to the people. Based on that, we have just told you that economics is a social science subject. We'll go ahead to look at economics as a science subject. Economics is a science subject because it makes use of scientific method in its application. Scientific methods such as use of observation. After observation, the observers have training in the environment or in the society. They move further to what? Formulate hypotheses. From there, they do what? They collect data. After they collect data, they analyze this data. After which, they formulate laws. These laws are further tested. And at the end of the day, predictions are made based on this what? Laws. So those are the reasons why economics can be seen as a what? a science subject because it makes use of scientific methods in its application. From what we have on the board, we move over to the basic concept of economics. What are these basic concepts? We're going to highlight them on the board. The first one is said on the board, wants. Wants, as we said earlier on from the definition, wants are our needs, which are, of course, we said is numerous. As human beings, we have the desire for what? Basic needs, such as what? The need to what? Own houses, that is shelter, to own clothes, and of course, for food. Those are the basic needs of man. If you want to move further, man desires a lot of things apart from those basic needs, which we say the need to own cars, furniture, and so on and so forth. Our wants are of course numerous and they cannot be easily satisfied. So in other words, we say they are what? Insatiable. We move over to the next basic concept of the board, scarcity. Scarcity. When we say scarcity, we mean that our resources are limited. Our resources are limited. In other words, resources we are going to use to satisfy these wants are not sufficient, or they are not many, and so therefore it cannot satisfy all our wants. And in the process, we have to what? Make do with what? Prioritizing our wants by attending to the most pressing needs first, and then letting go of the least or the less pressing needs. We move over to the next basic concept on the board, scale of preference. Of course, we said that our wants are numerous and the means to what? Satisfy these wants are limited. So what we do is to what? Make a scale by listing our needs according to the importance. In other words, a scale of preference is a list of unsatisfied wants. Then we'll move over to the next concept on the board, choice. Choice. Choice means selecting out of what? Various alternatives. How do choice come about? We said our wants are numerous. We desire lots of things, cars, shelter, and all that. And therefore our means to satisfy these wants are not sufficient. So we draw up a list of our wants. In a scale of preference, we have to make a choice by selecting the most important needs from our what? Scale of preference. We'll take example from here by giving us an instance of an individual that desires to buy what? Or a trader who desires to go to the market to buy some goods based on the fact that he has what? Limited or insufficient what? Resources. A trader, Mr. John, he said earlier that Mr. John, who is a trader, has limited resources, just 50 naira. And he wishes to what? Buy these items: fan, television, and a stove. But because his resources are limited, he needs to prioritize his what? His needs or his wants. And so therefore, he's going to what? Make a decision. Or he's going to choose to what? Go for what? Fan. So what will happen to the other items on the list? The other items on the list will now be what? Forfeited. And that brings us to the what? The last concept on the board, opportunity cost. Opportunity cost simply says that it's the alternative that was foregone. The alternative that was foregone is the what? Opportunity cost. That's just an example with an individual. Let's take an example with the government. Now we all know that during this trying time of coronavirus, there's need for the government to take action to provide some healthcare facilities such as ventilators, equipment in hospitals, face masks, hand sanitizer, and so on and so forth. The government with its limited resources will have to what? Prioritize what he needs to spend in the various sectors. And so therefore, because of the needs of taking action during this period, government will have to invest a lot in the medical sector or in the health sector by making them fully equipped. Other sectors like agriculture can come in because due to the stay at home or lockdown, the masses need to be provided for, and so therefore government will have to bring food to our doorsteps. Then every other thing can hold on because these are the two things that are pressing for now. I hope you've understood what we said so far concerning the basic concepts. Then there are some likely questions that will come up in the process of your exams. You could be asked, why is scarcity a fundamental problem? You need to wonder, what kind of question is this? It's a simple question to answer. First of all, you let us know that our wants are numerous, and our resources are limited. So in other words, we need to allocate our limited resources to our numerous wants. That's the simple answer to that question. Furthermore, you could be asked, how do government go about solving the problem of scarcity? Simple enough. You could tell us that our wants, government wants are so numerous, and our resources are limited. So what does government do? They drop a scale of preference and itemize their wants, their numerous wants. Just like the example I gave. Now from the list of items that government wants or like to invest in, you see that the health sector is number one. Then followed by the agricultural sector. Every other sector could be the entertainment sector, it could be the educational sector. Of course, we know that there's no movement for now, so every other thing will hold for now. That's government's priority. I hope you've understood what we've been saying so far. We'll move over to the next agenda on our list. We're going to try to explain some of the basic tools of economic analysis. Of course, as an economist, we'll come across some statistical questions. And we're going to use some of the items highlighted. We're going to explain some of them to you first and foremost, before we go ahead to start solving some questions. So what we have on the board, we have table. Of course, you wonder, what is table? Is it the normal table I sit on? Of course, no. Table is simply a systematic and orderly arrangement of information in rows and columns. It's a systematic and orderly arrangement of information in rows and columns. You can see that here that these are rows where you have the price. Now when the price was 20 naira, the quantity of bags that were bought was 40. And when the price was 30 naira, the quantity of bags that were bought was 30. And the next on the board is 40 naira. The quantity that divided was 20 naira. This is just a typical example of a table. A typical example of a table. We'll go ahead to look at a graph. Graph. What is a graph? A graph simply means a diagrammatic representation of information, and a graph can be lifted up from what? A table. A graph can be lifted from a table. So it represents the information on the table in a diagrammatic form. From what we have here on our chart, this is a typical example of a graph. A typical example of a graph. It says a graph showing the relationship between price and quantity demanded of rice. The price is usually on the vertical side, while the quantity demanded is usually on the horizontal side. Having said that, we'll go ahead to look at the bar chart. The bar chart represents our information in a rectangular bar. And the major characteristics of the bar chart is that the bars or the angles do not touch each other. They do not touch each other. So far, we've talked about table, we've talked about the graph, and we've talked about the bar charts. These are just some tools used for what? Economic analysis. Lastly, we'll go over to the linear or simultaneous equation. It simply tells us it's an equation that deals with what? Two unknown variables. And based on that, we're going to solve some questions. This is a typical example of a typical question that requires the use of linear and simultaneous equation. We are going to bring out the equation first and foremost. From the question, we've been told to find the quantity demanded. How do we go about this? All we need to do is to substitute the various prices in the equation. We need to substitute the various prices in the equation. We start with the first one. How do we go about solving it? We said initially that we should substitute the price in the equation. We started by saying Q is equal to 60 minus 1 over 3P. Now wherever you see P, you're going to put 30 naira. The next thing there was to what? Input our 30 into our P and times. We cancelled out. 3 went into 30 to give us what? 10. We now said 60 minus 10 gave us 50. So at the price of 30 naira, 50 quantity was what demanded. We go over to the next question. same thing we did in Roman figure 1, we do also in Roman figure 2. How did we arrive at our answer? We substituted 120 into the equation. Wherever you see P, you put 120. And by the time we divide one third of 120, we got 40. 60 minus 40 gave us 20. We go over to Roman figure 3. In Roman figure 3, we said when price is 0, what will be quantity demanded? So what we did here was to substitute price in the equation as before, and we arrived at 60. So when you see a similar question like this is how you go about answering it in your examinations. We'll take another example that also involves quadratic equation. For commodity X, QD is equals to 12 minus 2P, where P is the price of the commodity. A, use the demand function to complete the table below. B, draw the individual demand curve. And C, what is the maximum quantity the individual can buy of commodity X per unit of time. How do we go about solving this? As we said earlier on, we substitute the various prices into the equation. As we said earlier, we're going to substitute price, which is 6, into the equation. When we finish analyzing it, we have 12 minus 2 into 6. And we go ahead to say 2 times 6 will give us 12. 12 minus 12 will give us 0. In other words, when the price was 6, the quantity demanded was 0. Same thing we do to the next price. When the price was 5, we substitute the 5 into the equation. And by the time you finish analyzing this, we arrived at the quantity to be what? 2. the price was 4, we substituted the price, which was 4, into the equation. And by the time we finish analyzing, we got our quantity demanded to be what? 4. Same thing happened when the price was 3. We substituted our price into the equation. And after analyzing, we got our quantity demanded to be 6. Same thing applies when the price was 2. After substituting 2 into the equation and analyzing, 2 times 2 gave us 4. 12 minus 4 gave us 8. So therefore, our quantity demanded was 8. When the price was 1, we substituted 1 into the equation. We said 2 times 1 gave us 2. 12 minus 2, we got our quantity demanded to be what? 10. When the price was 0, we substituted this 0 into the equation. 2 times 0 gave us 0. 12 minus 0 gave us 12. So in an ideal examination situation, this is how you should show your working. Everything that's explicitly stated here takes their various marks. So based on that, all this information we got here, we're going to input them into our table. When the price was 6, the quantity demanded we got was 0. And when the price was 5, the quantity demanded we got was 2. And when the price was 4, the quantity demanded was 4. And when the price was 3, the quantity demanded was 6. And when the price was 8, quantity demanded was, so when the price was 2, the quantity demanded was 8. And when the price was 1, the quantity demanded was 10. And when the price was 0, the quantity demanded was 12. So based on that, we are going to go over to the next question. Draw the individual demand curve. When we draw our demand curve in an ideal situation, we make our scale equal. We make our scaling equal. So based on the information we have on our table, we can draw the demand curve by saying when the price was 6, quantity demanded was 0. So you go over to your price 6 and the quantity demanded 0. And when the price was 5, quantity demanded was 2. When the price was 4, quantity demanded was 4. When the price was 3, quantity demanded was 6. When the price was 2, quantity demanded was 8. When the price was 1, quantity demanded was 10. And when the price was 0, quantity demanded was 12. Based on this point, we can draw our demand curve. When the price was 6, the quantity demanded was 0. And when the price was 5, the quantity demanded was 2. When the price was 4, the quantity demanded was 4. When the price was 6, the quantity demanded, when the price was 3, the quantity demanded was 6. And when the price was 2, the quantity demanded was 8. When the price was 1, the quantity demanded was 10. And when the price was 0, the quantity demanded was 12. So when you see a question like this in an ID examination, this is how you go about answering it. Then the last question says, what is the maximum quantity the individual can buy of commodity X per unit of time? At a glance, on the table here, look at the highest commodity the individual bought. Under the quantity demanded row, we arrived at 12. So in other words, the highest or the maximum quantity the individual bought was 12. So these are some of the tools that can be used in economic analysis. We started by defining economics, the most generally acceptable definition given by Professor Lord William-Robbins. We moved over to some of the basic concepts, which were wants, scarcity, scale of preference, choice, and opportunity cost. Then we now moved over to some of the tools for economic analysis. Viewers, I hope you had a lovely time watching us today. Thank you and God bless.